What's going on, people? It's your man JB with you once again. It's the Mind Your Business podcast, and I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, how's everybody doing? Appreciate you guys taking your time out to come join us again and just have these conversations, man. These conversations that we have with entrepreneurs, business owners, creatives, and influencers. Today we're gonna have a great conversation with my man Reggie Halsey. So if you don't know, I'm not going to get into it. We're gonna have that conversation. But in the meantime, I got to shout out before we go any further, because I got it wrong all the other times. You hear the paper, you hear it, you see that? The Mind Your Business, the cup. Shout outs to memorable memories. Yes, I got it right. I still haven't opened this yet. I got it for my birthday. I'm really tempted to do it, but it's just, look at this thing, man. If you want one, memorable memories is how you do it. She got you. She'll hook you up. I'll tag y'all or whatever. I'll put it on my page so you can have the information. So that's that. Also, I'm a fan of dad hats. I love dad hats. Dad hats. Dad hats. Reborn Kings. Shout outs to them. I got a couple. They're doing their thing, man. So, but yeah. So that's what it is. That's it. It's Mind Your Business podcast. We about to get it in. We got my man Reggie. Reggie's here. We still learning the platform. I'm working things out. Let me see. Hopefully I can get this right. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes, sir. What's up, brother? What's going on, man?
What's good, man? How you?
I am well, brother. I'm doing a lot better now, man. We got you here, so
I appreciate that, Brian. I'm glad to be glad
hey,
to be here myself, man.
hey man.
Period.
Hey, listen. That part I understand. We get it. So let's do this, man. A lot of times I introduce people, but you go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
I like that. Hi, my name is Reggie Halsey, man. I'm everything. Let's start from the beginning. I'm a musician. Play about 7 instruments. I produce for multiple gospel groups. I play for and for a bunch of people. I do a lot of professional traveling, singing and playing. I also Yeah, I was a physical trainer, physical as you know, like weightlifting and uh, body, getting your body where you want it to. I did that. I'm also a longshoreman. Uh, my dad, that's quite it. But I'm definitely you know, just been out this area for all my life. I'm in the Virginia area. I've been prime athlete in the area, basketball, volleyball, football, and so now, I'm just a regular old person to me, but that's basically a little bit about myself.
Well, and you said you kind of do everything. You've done everything. You trainer.
Done everything.
I've seen some of your basketball. I've seen some of your highlights. I've seen some of your volleyball
Right, right.
joints. I've even heard you when you were doing stand up comedy. You know what
That's
I mean?
right. That is right. That's
So
right. I was actually doing that when I was married.
yeah, man. So you are definitely a jack of all trades, and you've definitely mastered a bunch. We'll definitely put
I
that out there.
appreciate that, man.
No problem. And so now you're also now, if I'm correct, in a gospel group. We're in a gospel group. I know you got a project out. What's going on there?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was definitely the group that I was traveling with it was a group called Maurice Chance and One Accord, but what I did was I'm usually, man, I'm always producing and writing songs for other people.
Hmm.
After I got in the situation that I'm in, like we'll get to explain exactly what happened, but it's basically laid on me to do my own thing.
Hmm.
So for the first time, instead of me writing all these songs and doing this for other people, I basically did a CD of just me
Hmm.
and all of these songs that is on the project, which the project is called 17. Um, like I said, we'll talk about that later too. But the project is just all me. 17 songs I wrote. Well, I'll be correct. 17 songs, and I think I wrote 14 of them. Three
Okay.
of them, one of them was wrote by a friend, my dad, and my grandfather wrote one. But it's basically just, I call it, music medicine, gospel music medicine to get me
Hmm.
through, what I'm going through.
Okay. So We'll talk so about those songs that you've written. A lot of times people write songs for other people. How many of these songs?
Exactly.
How many of these songs were written for you?
Of the 17,
Yes.
uh, that's a really good question.
Mm,
That's a really dope question. Maybe out of the 17, maybe five.
oh,
No, maybe seven.
okay.
Was literally I wrote them and said I'm going to sing these.
Okay.
The other ones were some that I had already written for other people to sing. I
Okay.
just never gave them to them.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
So yeah,
as an artist or as a writer or singer, vocalist, whatever, how do you know when a song is for you and when it's for somebody else?
well, I think, after this situation is kind of when I found out that I needed to write for myself. So I intentionally started to write what feels good to me. But when I was writing before this incident, um, when I write like, especially if I'm asked to write.
Okay.
When I'm asked to write, I write to something that I feel fits that person,
Got it.
or when I write, um, if I write something just off the humbug, I'm just writing, and I hear something. When a writer, I think another writer can say, the song you write never sounds good when you're leading it.
Okay. Okay.
It always sounds good when you give it to somebody else,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
"That's what it was missing."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
It
Yep.
was like it don't sound good to, and so this time I kind of had to look at it in a different manner because to me, even though I've written all these songs and I've given them to people and I've led them because I had to lead them so that they would know how they go.
Hmm.
I would lead them and send them to them. So it was just like I don't really think I did that well on. Then you give it to them and you was like, yeah, that's what it needed.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But this
Okay.
time I had to change it because I had to do it.
Mm,
I
mm,
had to sing it myself. So it's just like one of those situations where, you know, man, look, you these songs for you, and you got to get the best out of it that you possibly can. So that's definitely a dope question because that's a tough thing to do. Is really write for yourself.
right. Yeah. And so for instance, I know. So I've done some music industry stuff back in the day, and I know writers
Hmm.
and singers, and I know a lot of people that write, and then that they sing a lot of stuff that they write. And
Right.
I've always been in the mind frame of if you sing, if most of the songs that you sing that you've written for yourself, then a lot of times you're going to limit your vocal ability because most of the time you arrange them for your voice.
That's right.
And you may not
That's right.
really ever stretch yourself. But if you can get
This is
somebody
correct.
else to write for you and arrange the song, they're going to get you out your comfort zone.
This is true.
You know what
This
I
is
mean?
very true.
They're going to make you
This
work.
is very true.
They're going to have you sweating. You know what I mean? You might think you about to crack, but they're going to stretch you as a vocalist.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right. And the crazy to piggyback off of what you just said, that is 300% true. The
Mm,
reason why, and even with this CD, what happened is if you notice once you go and look at all the CD, I'm featuring someone on every song.
mm,
On
mm,
every song, I have a feature,
mm.
right? So what the feature did was it helped me with what you just basically said. See, if I would have sung it, I would have sung it straight smooth all the
Right,
way through.
right, right.
But see, then when I sent it to a feature, they went and sung it and they went ham.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They went and they did their thing. So then when it's sent back to me, I'm just like, God dog, like they can't kill me like that. I gotta go and I gotta
Right. Mm-hmm.
put some umph in
Yeah,
to match what they did.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Because you can,
that's kind of
yeah,
how I push myself by putting somebody else up there.
yeah. Because you can't get killed on your own song.
No, no, no. That's just
Yeah,
what I
you
say
can't.
every time.
Yeah,
Like you can't kill me on my
and you
own
know,
CD.
yeah, yeah. And see, the good thing about it is you do it, you send it off, and even if you've already recorded your part, you send it off to whoever's featured on it, and you get it back. And if you like, oh
That's
my
right.
gosh, you always have the opportunity to go back in the studio and redo your part.
Every time that's what happened. Every single time.
Oh man. Well, look,
Every time when I say not one song
that's it.
happened that way.
Yeah, and that's
Exactly that way.
right. And it's a good thing because, as I said, it stretches you. It stretches you, and it's going to
That's
make
right.
you work, and it's going to make you get uncomfortable. And a lot of times, man, in order to put out quality stuff, especially music, in order to put out quality music, you have to be stretched, or else you're going to be in that same box, and you're going to sing and sound the same way over, over,
That's
and
right.
eventually people just going to get tired of it. Like you can sing, you could be the best vocalist out there, but if all your stuff sounds the same, then eventually people, I can get all I got to do is buy one song because I know the other 14 that they have done is going to sound like this one. So I
Exactly.
just get the
Sounds
one,
this is
and call it a day.
this is definitely correct.
You know what I mean? So
You nailing it.
yeah, man, it's crazy, man. So now your style. I know you love quartets. I
Hmm.
guess my question is first and foremost, how did you get into quartet music? Where
Good
did that
question.
where did that love and passion come from? And then what is it about the quartet scene and the music or whatever that caused you to stay? Because I mean, yeah, the group y'all was killing it, man. And but young guys, you know what I mean?
Uh,
Like a lot of
right.
times when you think of quartet music, you think older an older audience and older artists. You don't necessarily think young people. You know what I mean? So where
That's
did
right.
that love come from, and how did that come apart?
Quartet was basically that was like my baby milk when I was young. I've been
Mm-hmm.
bred into it.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, I don't know if you heard of the Soul Stirrers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, my grandfather was a member of the Soul Stirrers.
Nice. Okay,
Uh,
okay.
so my grandfather sung with them, and my dad. Therefore, when my dad was born, my dad actually started to play the lead guitar for him.
Mm,
And so then once my dad came about, my dad is that's like the ox singer. My
mm,
dad, he's actually on the CD too. My dad is a beast singer. Him and my
mm,
sister, they the ones in the house that me and my mom, we just kind of, we'll prefer to get in the background. We'll
mm.
stay in the background. But my dad and my sister, but my dad, he started singing quartet, and he was, we call him one of the quartet gurus of this area. And then his brother, which is my uncle, um, he started with a group called the Virginia Airs, and they kind of started to take the group, the quartet level a little higher. They were nominated for Stellars. That I wrote quite a bit. Song. Actually, one of the songs that I written for them was one of the first songs that went on the billboards. That was the first time I ever had a song to be named on Billboard, and they were the first group that I had to also be nominated for a Grammy as well.
Mm.
So that kind of put me into the Grammy nominated writers, if you should say.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
calls it,
basically just bred
it
into me, man.
it also calls your price point to go up.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. The
That's
business
definitely true.
the business is what the business is, man. And it's
That's
just
right.
it's
That's
certain
right.
things. When you are a student, and if you're going to we'll say medical school, once you get them letters behind your name, all of a sudden you can charge more than what you were charging before you got them letters.
There you go. There you
So
go. And it it,
Grammy and
it
all that stuff.
definitely put
Yeah.
me in a different,
Oh,
yeah,
yes, it did.
a different tax bracket.
Yes, sir.
If
Yeah.
you,
Yes, it did, man. And
yeah,
so I guess for you,
yeah.
it's
So
it's it's in your blood. Like it's in your bloodstream.
definitely,
You know what I mean? Like that's
definitely, and even down to my mother's side. My
mm,
mother, that's how my mom and dad met. My mom, her
uh,
dad sung in a quartet group,
wow.
and my mom and my dad met at a quartet program.
Mm,
And, my mom had a little quartet group with her and her sisters. My dad was playing with his dad. They met. Now they having kids. So it's just like, if you really want to do like the X and O's, like in my genes, I got quartet on both
bro,
sides.
it's there.
It had
It's
no choice but to
that's
hit.
it. Yeah, 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 yeah. And so and if I'm right, a while back, Was your son up playing with you guys at one time? Was he playing guitar or something? Was this?
He was, man. That was like, man, that was some joyful moments. Me and my mom was just looking at some videos about it. You know, my son, he still loves quartet,
Mm,
but he's at that age now where he's
right,
too cool.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'm not dad. I ain't finna get out there and do all that jumping and stuff. You know, I'm too cool for that. You know, that's that. But back in the day when he wanted, I'm gonna do what my dad do.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh man, he would get out there, and it was a joy to see him, man. But I mean, I told him I got many videos of him doing
yeah,
it. So
yeah, man. Yeah, that's what it
yeah,
is,
he used
man.
to go out there with me.
And it's crazy, man, because I'm finding this out as well. Um, Good or bad, it doesn't matter because kids have a tendency to follow what their parents do. Sons have a tendency to follow what their dads do. And if they dads is out here on the street, if they running women, if they're in the church, if they're not in the church, whatever it is that they do, most of the time, those sons for sure are gonna follow right behind them.
This is true.
You know what I mean? And it's regardless of what it is that you're doing. I don't care if it's positive or negative. And so for everybody that's out there, all the dads, and you may not feel like you matter, understand. You trust me, man.
Right.
You set the stage, especially for your sons. You're setting the stage for your sons. So that's
That's
just
right.
yeah,
That's right.
just a little plug, man.
No,
So
no, no. That's definitely true.
yeah, man. Like I said, I seen him. I was like, yo, look, yo, this dude, yo, he is up there getting it, man.
He'd be up there getting it, man. It would be interview with no effort, man. It's just like, you know, he look cool, laid back guy, and it
Mm,
was like, soon as that stage hit,
yeah,
it was like
Showtime.
lights on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's showtime.
Yeah,
It was so
yeah.
funny to me, man.
But
I
once
loved it though.
but once again, man, it's in his DNA.
This is right.
It's
This
it's
is
it's
right.
in his genes. It's in his DNA. It's in his bloodstream. And tr- listen, man, I don't care what he does. One of these days, man, he's gonna be back up on that stage. After whatever,
Right.
it's gonna happen,
Right.
man. So, but look,
That's
so,
right.
so let's talk, man. So now, I was on one night. I came home. My wife, we came home, and we jumped on. We were on social media, and
Hmm.
we just kept hearing about just accident and people praying and praying. I'm like, well, what in the world is going on? And,
Right. Right. Right.
and
Right.
then we start hearing about, you guys just, pray, pray, pray. And so, I'm like, okay, what are we praying about? What's going on? And so then we heard about a car accident, and still really didn't know all the information. But eventually I found
Right.
out that you were in a car accident. I,
This
I
is correct.
and then we start hearing about the whole Reggie Strong thing. Hashtag Reggie Strong. Um, so
Okay.
just talk if you can, man. Talk a little bit about what happened, and even about
Okay.
now, what it is that you're doing to. Because look, man, I really wanted to start off, man, with your story. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you
Right.
because
Right.
it,
Right. Right.
it's
Right.
it's it's an incredible story. We were talking earlier, and a lot of people have heard about what happened, but they haven't necessarily heard it from the
Right.
person that it happened to. Uh,
That's right.
and for me, I have conversations with a lot of individuals. I consider you, outside of just being an entrepreneur and a vocalist, you're an influencer, man. Like you are an influencer. Anytime you can get people to buy in to what it is that you're doing without really saying a whole lot, you have influence. And,
That's right.
you may have not have known half these people that were hashtagging Reggie Strong.
I did.
You know what I
Not even
mean?
half. I didn't know half of
Right. And so for me to see and to hear that, I'm like, listen, man, let's get them on. Let's have this conversation. And
them. Right.
because man, your influence is crazy. Your influence, people are, you have people that are watching, that are praying for you. that are watching you get up and take these steps that doctors probably said you would never take again. You putting
This
out,
is right.
you're putting out music still. You know what I mean? But you go ahead and man and just kind of explain what happened and what's the process looking like for you.
Definitely. To go back to the top, man. I got hurt on my job, and I had literally just got back to work. I've been out of work for maybe about 6 or 7 months, right? And I was having a little back injury, but I had just came back like September 3rd, second or third. I went back to work, and you know, everything was going back, but I was still, if you know anything about cortisone shots, I was getting cortisone shots in my
Mm-hmm.
back. And so, the group, I really wasn't even going to go because I had just got a cortisone shot the day before we were leaving. Now, any of you people that know about cortisone shots, they don't bother you, but the day after, you're experiencing some uncomfortable pain. So I told him, I said, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go. But what happened was a lot of the guys that normally go couldn't go. So it was like, man, I need you, come on. So I was just like, you know what, if I go, I'm not gonna be able to drive. And I usually, I'm, one of the healthy drivers, and
Mm-hmm.
I drive and, take it pretty far. So I was just like, okay, cool. So I said, I'm gonna go. Got all the way down there. Man, I couldn't hardly sit down. I couldn't hardly stand up. It was just one of the most uncomfortable feelings. But I was just like, man, just get me home. Long story short, we on our way home. Um, and the driver, made a turn and we got T-boned.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, literally. Now I was in New York. I was in New York, and just to give you a roundabout, I was in New York. My car was parked on Indian River Road, and I was on Northampton Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 7 to 10 miles away from my car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back. I'm home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I done took that 5 hour trip and I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just 7 to 10 miles, give or take, away from my car. So I can get in my car and I can go home. And I got T-bone and got into the I knew something wasn't right because of how close my knee was to my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, yeah, something ain't right. But I wasn't even worried about that when I first when I when I was laying in the car. I was just saying I can't move, but I was just saying, y'all don't let me die.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I kept saying. And you know what? It wasn't that I felt like I kept telling them to get me out, y'all don't let me die. I wasn't necessarily afraid for my body. You know what I kept thinking was this car gonna blow up
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna burn to death. That's all I kept thinking. So they were just saying the police is on their way, and I'm saying, oh my God, like I'm gonna burn up, I'm gonna burn up. And that's all that kept going in my mind. It was like, don't let me burn to death. Police got me out. Once I hit the pavement, I was in relief, bruh. Like I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got in the van, got in the ambulance. I really won't think of anything. I think I was going in and out because it was just, it happened. I was just going in and out, but I had my eyes closed. I never really opened my eyes. And I heard the uh, one of the paramedics say, "Oh, he'll never walk again."
Mm-hmm.
First of all, how do you know? Like you just got me out of the car.
Oh man.
Like how do you know? So I'm just like, I kind of like whatever. I'm just like, man, just get me to the get me to the hospital. They got me to the hospital. As calm as I'm talking to you right now, this is how I talk. I called my peoples, and I was just like, yeah, yeah. They say I broke my neck. I was in a bad car accident. They say I never walk again, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm at Norfolk General. Now, this is why while my neck is broke, I'm talking to my mother. I'm talking to my family. I'm telling them this is why my neck is broke. I'm literally laying. on talking to them. You know what I'm saying? And my mom and them came up there, and um kind of fast, a little bit after that, I gotta say this. Uh, I don't know. I come from a very spiritual family, and I definitely believe
Mm-hmm.
in God. And I don't know if people under, that believe in God ever have heard of the saying, "You see that bright light."
Mm-hmm.
When you see that bright light, you bet, bro, that is a whole real thing. That's a whole real thing out here. I literally, I don't know if it was while the doctor was working on me, but I literally was like in front of that light, and I couldn't see God, but it was just like a bright light, and I just could hear his voice saying, "Bro, it's gonna be hard, but you're gonna be okay."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I done brung you here, and I done formed you for this. You straight, like but just gonna be hard though. You just keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, as calm as I'm talking to him, I'm like, all right, cool. And I woke up. When I woke up, my family was around me, and then it started, man. I went from I couldn't move at all. I'm gonna tell you how much I couldn't move. I couldn't cough. How they used to had to make me cough was they used to had to uh and I hope this not TMI, but they used to have to put this thing down my throat and had to suck the mucus out of my throat to make me to make so I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
this stuff, I mean, and that's like I couldn't then when it get to the point where it wouldn't come out, they used to have to put their hands on my stomach and push down and it'll make it come up
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't cough.
Right.
Um, and then the day the guy told me, uh, guy came in one day and said, "Hey, bro, we're gonna have to put a hole in your neck. We're gonna have to give you a trach because anybody that has this injury, you have to get a trach." And my words was, "Bro, you're not putting a hole in my neck." I said, "No, that's not happening." He's like, "No, we got to do it. And when you do it, you may flatline like 3 times, but you're not gonna die, bro. You're not putting a trach in my neck."
Oh my
I was like,
goodness.
I'm good. I'm good, bro. You don't have to put it in my neck." My mom and everybody was in there, and he was like, "Well, in order for me not to put a trach in your neck, yada 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 yada, these things have to happen."
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, it's nothing that I can really do about them to make them happen. They just have to happen. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because I can't move. Man, I just instantly started praying. I was like, "God, if it's your will for me to get a trach, then I get a trach. But I know what you told me. You said it's gonna be hard, but you told me I can get through this. But I don't want to go through that part." He came back maybe like the next day. He was like, "Good news, man. You ain't got to get a trach." And that's crazy because usually everybody that gets your injury has to get a trach. He said, "But you're one of the first ones that I know to have having to get a trach. You didn't have to get a trach, so they didn't have to cut the hole in my neck." So I'm just like, you know, crazy. Like I'm like, okay. He said, "But you're gonna have to learn how to swallow again." I'm like, "Nah, like I can swallow." He's like, "But you gotta learn how to swallow food." And I was like, "Bro, I can swallow food." Like, and now I'm saying that like and I'm like this,
Mm-hmm.
but and I'm telling him I can swallow food. So I went through all of that, man. And long story short, I was in ICU, and I was supposed to be in ICU. They said about two weeks or so. I was in ICU for 3 days. They took me out of ICU and put me in the step down unit. Went to the step down unit, and I was supposed to be in there for another 3 weeks. I was in there for like a week and a half, and really probably would have been in there shorter. But I was supposed to go to Atlanta, and I changed my mind because of my kids. I didn't want to go so far away from them
Mm-hmm.
for my in therapy, like the
Right.
inbound therapy or whatever you
Yep.
call it. I didn't want to, so I said, "Man, just take me to Richmond." I was like, "Cause God already told me I'm gonna be straight." So at the end of the day, it really don't matter where I go. If He told me I'm gonna be straight, I'm not gonna go where I think they the best. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go wherever I want to go. Like I'm gonna stay close to my kids because God told me I'm gonna be straight. So that means wherever I go, He gonna work through that person. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I went to. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Well, and so this is the crazy part. People always talk about faith. Like everybody always talk about faith. Always talk about faith, 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 faith. You don't need faith until you really need faith. You know what I'm saying? Like
This
you
is
like
true.
faith. You don't need it until you need it. And you hear a
This is
lot of
true.
people talk about faith, but when they need to have faith, that's when they fall short.
This is true.
But in your situation, just to hear the fact, man, that you're in the car or the truck or the vehicle, and you hear that voice, and your faith kicks in, like really, I mean, kicks in to the point where you telling these EMTs, these doctors, these you telling them, nah, I'm good, I'm good. You're able to get on the phone and have this conversation with your loved ones who probably in their brains are like, oh my gosh, my baby, my just,
Exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh.
but you're having the conversation with them like like it was the day before,
Right.
and just like I said, man, you hear about people in faith and you gotta have faith in you, blah blah blah. But you are a perfect example of what faith really, bruh. At this point, you could stop calling your name Reggie and call your name Faith if it didn't sound so much like a girl's name. You know what I mean? Like
That's right.
and not to make
Right.
light of the situation, but to kind of
Now I
make
know what you mean.
the understanding that, dude, like you are. I mean, you're a miracle. You're an example, and you are a perfect example of what faith looks like, smells like,
Right.
everything. Because you could have been like, look, man, that's it. I can't do this.
That's
Now
right.
you recording a record. You doing photo shoots. You're walking.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's just you know and people say you hear people, but miracles don't happen like they used to back in the day. Bruh, I right now on the Mind Your Business podcast, we have a miracle on the show.
That's true. Definitely.
You know what I mean? So to be honest with you, man, you could change your name to Faith Miracle. You know what I mean? Just it's I mean because that's what I mean. That's at this point, man, that's what you are, bro. Like
I appreciate that.
and not
I
to
appreciate that.
now not to take anything from you. So kind of how has this journey been? Not just for you. I mean, you have kids. You know what I'm saying? Just how has that journey been for everyone involved?
Um, it's been, it's been a definite journey, because to kind of piggyback off of the story, once I got to Richmond, that's when I was actually told that I'd never walk again. It was told for me that I'll be in a wheelchair, for the rest of my life. And, you know, to jump back on the faith train, it knocked me off for about 45 minutes. You know, I was done. I'm just like, all this that I'm doing, like, how can I, and when I went to sleep, heard God again was like, yo, who you gonna believe, bruh? Like I done told you, like I told you what it is. So at that time, what they did was, I feel like they triggered this mentality in me because I'm one of these guys. Don't ever in your life tell me what I'm not gonna do, because I will do everything in my power to do it. I don't care if it's once, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
just how I am. I'm very competitive. So when they told me I'm walking again, when I really realized what God had told me, if I went from, oh my God, what am I gonna do,
Hmm.
to I went to, oh yeah, so that's what you think? So then I set out to, go hard, and it's just, it's been an adjustment on everybody, man. I mean, you know, just me not being able to take care of myself to the point where, even down to using the bathroom.
Hmm.
I mean, it was just everything was kind of just like adjustment to everybody. So then I got to the point I kept focusing on I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk. And then I had to realize, okay, Rex, you gotta trade. You gotta turn your mind frame, man. You gotta work on these little things because I don't know if you notice my hand. I'm a musician. If you notice my hand, well, this hand is like this because my hand wouldn't bend.
Mm.
So they're still helping me to work with this hand. Like this hand wouldn't move at all. But now I don't know if you probably the other way. Yeah, I can start to move my fingers and I can move it now, but they do this to keep my hand bent, so it's kind of like training it.
Mm-hmm.
But this hand was once like that. This hand still is getting better, but I can do as I could, but these my hands couldn't move at all. But I'm just slowly I'm instead of me focusing on the big goal, I'm making a bunch of little goals, like saying, you know what,
Yeah.
by in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I conquer that, yo, in 3 more weeks, I'm
Right.
gonna be doing this. So now now their goal is, they're saying they've seen somebody come back from an injury, but it took like 9 years
Mm.
for them to come back. They said where I'm at right now is where this person was at about 7 or 8 years.
Mm.
So that means if I'm doing my calculation right, y'all saying that I have basically what he did in 7 years, I've done in a year and some change because it ain't even been 2 years yet.
Right. Right. Right.
So basically, like I told him, okay, all right, cool. January, I'm walking on a walker, like with no help. Like y'all, I'm just gonna be on a walker by myself. January, December, before this year's out, I'm walking on a walker. And my therapist didn't believe at first, but now that they see how crazy I am with my
Mm-hmm.
faith and with
Mm-hmm.
my work ethic, oh, they like, all right, well, let's do it. Like at first, I would tell them something. I told them I'm gonna walk. The lady was like, walk when? And she was like, I mean, you're gonna get to walk, but walk when? And I told her, I said, I'm gonna walk on these parallel bars. I said, I'm gonna walk on these parallel bars in 3 months. She laughed at me. I walked on the parallel bars in a month and a half.
Hey, did
And
you
she
laugh? Did
said,
you laugh at her?
I did, but you know what? It was crazy because if you would have seen like my mama and them would tell you, if you seen the look on their face,
Right.
they were
Right.
like looking at me like, yo, who is this cat?
Right. Right.
Like now, what's it gets on my mom's nerves. But now when I go to therapy, this is their thing. Okay, Reggie, what we gonna do today?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
because
Because
at the end of the day, they just like they can't give me anything to do because they said,
right.
man, when we try to plan for you,
Right. Yeah.
when you come, you so much past it.
Right. Yeah. And see, and they're
So it's
planning
kind of like they letting me pick my way.
right because they're planning based on what has happened in the past and the people that have come through there in the
Exactly.
past. They've never planned for somebody like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they don't know- like it's how do you plan for someone like that? You don't. It's
You don't.
and like you said, they come and they're asking you, all right, well, you running today? Well, what we doing today? You know what I mean? Because they've got to, and which is a good thing because at this point they are allowing you to kind of, hey, what is it that you want to do so that we can work on to help you meet your goal. In comparison to them
That's right.
setting goals for you, they're helping you to meet the goals that you set for yourself.
That's right.
Which is, and like I said, man, real quick for you guys that are just tuning in, it's the Mind Your Business podcast. My name is JB Harrison, but at this point, we got my man Reggie Miracle Faith Halsey. He is on the podcast, man, and he is. I've said this before. We've had influencers on, we've had business people, we've had entrepreneurs, we've had a lot of people on the show. I can honestly say right now that I don't think we've had anybody else on this show. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think we will have anybody else on this show that has had as big as an influence as you have. Listen, man, I don't care if we go out here and get, if I could get President Obama on the show, that'd be great. But listen, at the end of the day,
Right. Right.
the influence that you have had and still are having is just, I mean, it's out of this world. And like I said, I didn't want to
Yeah, it's
just,
crazy, man.
I didn't want to just invite you because you put out a record. You know what I mean?
No, no, I get you.
I
I get
wanted
you.
you on the show to really have the conversation, and then two, so that way people can understand, man. Like, yo, like, and I said it before, faith isn't faith until you need it. Until you need faith, and then you can activate it. Um,
You know what? And to piggyback off of that, man, you know
mhm.
what? It's I got this saying in my head. Faith isn't. It's not in faith until you need it. But then again, what's the reason? What's the reason to believe in God if you're never going to allow Him to be Him?
Hmm,
You
real
see what I'm
talk.
saying? God is the one that does. If He says He's do this and He'll work out this and He'll do this, but at the end of the day, when the time comes for Him to do that, you don't trust Him to do it.
Hmm.
Like, okay, God, this is the time that well, when you told me that you were there, bruh, I'm land. There we go. Here you go. So now this my time where I'm gonna trust in you, and that's just how I feel. Like you told me this what you gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, and I think, and I can speak for myself. For me, I can honestly say my biggest thing with giving stuff to God hasn't been giving it to Him, but it's more so giving it to Him and not letting Him keep it. I'm always taking it back. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Because I'm
That's
asking
true.
God, hey God, man, I need you to do this or do this, and then after I ask Him for His help, I'll go back and take it back from Him. And either it's because I start, worrying about it or trying to figure out what I need to do or blah blah blah. And so basically, I'm taking it back from Him and not leaving it with Him to figure it out and work it out and tell me what I need to do in comparison to getting out my own head and try to do it myself after I've already asked Him for help. And He's like, yeah, man, I got you. But then I'm like, nah, God,
That's right.
God, let me get that back, yo. Let me get that back. And so,
That's true. And you know what though? And you know what's crazy about that is, I don't know if it's I was looking up to see if it was a Bible scripture, but um I don't know if you in church, and I've been church all my life. So
mm,
it's a churchy saying uh if you take one step, he'll take two,
isn't
right?
that yeah?
That's an
Isn't that
old school church.
about to say that's? I'm sure
I
that's
don't know if
one
it's a
of
scripture or not.
bro. But I know one thing. I'm sure it's a lyric in one of them quartet songs.
Yeah, you know what I definitely heard the quartet song. So you know what my mindset is? He said if you take one step, he'll take two. So you know what my thing is? Okay, so if I take one, he'll take two. What happens if I take 20?
Oh man, bro. Yeah.
That's my mentality.
Right. Right.
You
Yeah.
just told me one step. So what happens if I take 20 steps?
Yeah,
How many he gonna take? That's just how I think about it, man.
bruh. Listen, man. You have been the highlight of. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're about uh maybe 15 shows in,
Oh
and I've
wow, okay.
and I've had some really good people, good guests on. And this is not to discount anybody else that's been on the show. So
No,
anybody
I
else,
definitely I understand it.
you know what I mean? So y'all listen, and this is me talking to my other guests. You guys know me. You look, man, y'all know me. But I have to say, right now, this show right here with Reggie Halsey, Reggie Faith Miracle Halsey, uh, is I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. We've talked business. We've talked about starting businesses and losing money and relationships and things of that nature. At the end of the day, this right here, I mean, this is what it's all about. Like we've talked about goal setting. You
Right.
know what I mean? We've talked about planning. We've talked about how decisions and things can impact families. So we have had these conversations, but now we're having them also in a different light, man. And bruh, I tell you, man, uh,
I appreciate that, man.
this is
I definitely appreciate it.
yeah, you are, I mean, amazing, man. And And so with that, man, the process. What was the process for you outside of even mentally, like outside of the physical therapy and all of those things? Because you even with faith, like you had to get here straight. And what was that process? And even now, like what's that process like?
Um, to be honest with you, man, a lot of I kind of adopted the name. People was calling me Superman and stuff like this, and you don't even know. Like, to be honest with you, my main get up, the thing that makes me want to get up, is my kids, bro.
Mm,
I can't even sit here and give you no. I can't sit here and say, okay, well, I do this and I do that and I do
right,
this and I do
right.
that and I do this. I don't. I just get up every day and realize that my kids want me to get up.
Mm,
And I know if I got God and I got my kids, one of the things I always say, I always tell, when I do pray, and I talk to God the same way I'm talking to you. Like, that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bruh, look, listen. When people ask my kids, do they believe in God? God, I don't want them to say they believe in you because their dad and their mom
mm-hmm.
took them to church and they
Right,
did. I want
right.
them to say, they were like, wait, man, why you believe in God? Yo, I literally watched God heal my dad.
Mm,
I was there when they told my dad that he wasn't gonna walk again. And I know this is who my dad believed in. He believes in God and he said God is gonna do it. And I literally I was beside him the whole way. And I saw my dad get healed by God. So how can I not believe in a man that saved my dad? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my mentality, bro. It's like, okay, God, I ain't gonna let my kids down. You don't let me down. And that's just what I get up with that mentality every morning, man. Just some mornings good, some mornings I don't feel like doing that.
right, right.
Some mornings bad, and I mean some mornings good. I just get up and go for it. And some mornings is bad, and I'm just like, bro, all I want to do is lay here.
Right, right.
But for the most part, it's just I'm a just I just get up and keep working, man. I don't have a plan, man. I
Mm,
just work.
yeah. And
That's my
and
plan, to keep working till I'm back.
yeah, and bro, and I hand it to you, man. Like I said, I'm on social a lot, probably a little too much sometimes. Beautiful family, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely have a
Thank you, man. Thank you.
beautiful family, man. And there's nothing like having a good support system,
Right.
especially in times like these.
That's
You
true.
you know you have to have that support system because if not, man, you could have all the faith in the world, but if you don't have a support system that's right there with you, you
That's
know
true.
what God,
That's true.
what God told you,
That's right.
but if you got this person that's supposed to be your support system in your ear, and they talking, it's totally opposite of what God and told you. You
It could
know,
hurt you. Yeah.
oh man, so shout outs to your support system, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
because
Yeah,
they,
I think another, even when you go to the, it's with that, and having an amazing support system, and it's just having that mentality. Bro, I
mm,
was 307 pounds.
mm,
I cut 307 pounds down to 225 in about 5 months.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt like God was really just training me. At that time, He was literally just training me. Look, bro, you're gonna have to, because I felt like I could never do that. I thought I was gonna always be a fat boy. You know, Nah, I got fat when in my previous marriage, and I was just like, "Ah, man, I'm not gonna lose this weight." But then one day it just clicked in my head. But now, when I see how it clicked, and then when I got into this accident, I know the mind frame that you have to be in order to accomplish something. You have to be a bull. You
Mhm,
can't. A lot of people laugh at me. Some of my friends laugh at me on some of my videos. I don't know if you look at it. You hear me say, "Be a bull,
mhm,
be a
mhm,
bull, be a bull." When I'm walking, I'm just saying, be a bull," because it's tough.
mhm.
It's really, really, really tough. But you know what's crazy? Every time I say "be a bull," it's like my leg just picks up and walk. I'm like, be a bull, and it picks up and walk. Be a bull, pick up and walk. And it's just like, they laugh at me. It was like, yo, you don't need any motivation. I really don't, because it's all up here.
Right, right, right. Hey, bruh.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just amazing, man. I mean, really, really amazing. Uh,
I appreciate it, bro.
hey, man, and like I told you before, I appreciate you taking the time out, coming on here, and being 145% transparent.
No problem at all, man.
You know what I mean? I really do. What was it? So let me ask you this: what was it like? So, did you ever get to the place? Because a lot of people will blame God. A lot of
Hmm.
things, happen to people, especially if they're not good things. And the first person they blame is God. Uh,
Hmm.
did you ever find yourself in that place? And if so, how did you get out of that space?
Um, nah, not really. Not really. I ain't never really, I mean, I had my why me's,
Mm-hmm.
but I never, because if he did allow it, I know why.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, like I was living bullheaded, I was felt like I was on top of the world, making money, traveling, body right, you know, I'm doing, I felt like probably, I lost my way. I probably won't give him the reverence that I should have been giving. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, instead of letting me die, he let this happen to me to say, all right, bro, come on, bro, you tripping. Like, because if I let you keep going, you're gonna kill yourself. So in order for me to say, like, at the end of the day, I feel like, this is my mentality. I feel like he did it to save me, you know? And it was just like, either I'm gonna snatch you away from the world a little bit, or you're gonna get snatched away forever. You love your family. I mean, I know we all gotta die someday, but right now it ain't your time. So do you want to go to an early grave, or do you want to go sit down for a little while, and then we get you back together and we mold you in a whole nother different form so that you can basically be ready to do exactly live how I need you to live and stop living reckless. Cool. All right. You gotta sit me down for a little while, and I'll take these several seats that I gotta take for a while, and I come back the way you want me to come back.
take these, take these several seats up, man. Oh, bro, man, you just look, man. You just don't know, man. You really don't know how good of a conversation. And look, and I'm gonna be selfish. So for all my listeners that are listening now, or even the ones that catch the replay, whether y'all get anything out of this conversation or not, I'm gonna say this podcast was for me, bro.
Wow.
You know what I mean? This one's mine, man. Uh, this one is really mine. So we'll do a replay and everything, and we post it on our YouTube and all of that. But bruh, at the end of the day, man, if don't nobody else get no value from this all for me, man. I'll take it all. I have no problem.
Oh wow.
Listen.
Wow.
I'll catch the replay over and over again. I look. I like leftovers.
That's right.
Yeah, man. So the way we normally end the show is this: we ask our guests to give me the highest high and the lowest low of the journey, and you can do that
Mhm.
in any however you want to do it. You want to do high first, low first, whatever. But give me your highest high and your lowest low.
Um. Okay. You said so. We're gonna end it with the lowest low and the highest high. My lowest low is definitely hearing that I'll never walk again. That was like the lowest that I got you know, the entire time that I've been in this situation. The lowest that I've ever been is when they told me that I was going to go walk, and that's kind of been, you know, how I felt. Like it just felt like the world was going to end, you know. But my highest high, it's gonna sound stupid, man, but it's honestly when I wake up, bro, every day. could have been gone, you know, could have been dead. When I call my peoples, kids, anybody, when I'm on the phone, being able to talk to you, anybody, man, that's a high moment, bro. We don't get these, 45 minutes ago, we don't even get that back, you know. 2 minutes ago, you don't get that back. Every minute that we live in, that's it. You don't get it back, bro. It's a one hitter quitter with these minutes that we living in life. I don't think we realize that though. So my high is just, man, just allow it to hit another second, to hit another minute, regardless of how I gotta hit it. I'm just glad to be here, bro. Every day.
Bro, man. Oh man, listen. Look. I don't get at a loss for words that often. Like I said, I think we're about, I don't know how many shows in that we're in, and not one time have I came close to even thought about halfway crying. You know what I mean? But this right here, man, is something, man. Uh, it's we kind of laughed, and it was humor, man. But understand, bro, you are a walking, living, breathing, smelling, whatever miracle,
I appreciate that, bro.
man. And I appreciate you for coming on here, hanging out, talking, having a
Yes, sir.
conversation, and especially encouraging someone else, even if that
Thank you,
someone
man.
else was me.
Wow.
But I truly do, man. I appreciate you, man. For those that may want to get in touch with you, and I'm gonna put this out here, that want to get in
Okay.
touch, that want to get in touch with you, that want you to come and speak. They may not want you to come sing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Not to say that you can't
That's
sing.
true.
You know what I mean? But
No, no, no. I get you. I know
you know what I
exactly what you
mean.
mean.
That want you to come and speak, man. How can they get in touch with you, bro?
Man, they can either, social media. You can hit the box on social media, or you can either, you can email me. It's real simple. Mr. Mr. dot my last name Halsey, Halsey, and the number five. So Mr. dot Halsey five at
At, at
gmail.com.
Gmail,
You
and
can
then
email me, and yeah.
okay, and then what we've done is I've put your information on our link tree, so that way
Okay.
they can go right to it, and I'll make sure that that's there as well. And yeah, bro, uh, amazing, man,
I appreciate it, man.
bro. It's like, and I'll tell you before, man. Even we're trying to going back and forth, messenger or whatever. I appreciate you taking your time out. I,
No, ain't
I
no thing at all. I appreciate you.
so yeah, brother. It is, man. Like I said, man. I ain't at a loss for words a lot, man. But you got me. Yeah, you
I,
got me.
I appreciate that, man.
you got me, man. So, hold on for me just a minute, man. We gonna shut this thing down. Hold tight for me, all right?
Okay. All right.
Once again, you guys, that was Mr. Halsey, and hey, man, look, the dude is a walking, living, breathing miracle. You guys heard everything that went on. You heard about his faith and his goal setting and all of those things, man. So, look, ain't nothing I can say to do any more justice than what he's already said. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. It's the Mind Your Business podcast, powered by Hanging with the Harrisons. And we're going to do this again on next Monday. Next Monday, we have the Colliers, Javon and Brittany. They have a culinary business, catering business, pour and stay full, cooking with Boy Boy. We're going to have a conversation with them. We do this every Monday at 7:30. The replay will be on Wednesday. We'll have that up Wednesday. So for those that missed the show, this one with Reggie on here, you can catch it on our YouTube channel. And look, make sure you share it. Make sure that you guys and this ain't for me. Listen, I don't care if we get 1 million views, whatever. I just want them to be able to hear what Reggie's talked about today and tonight, man. So I appreciate you guys. We'll do it again. It's the Buying Business Podcast. And yeah.